I need a little time to pay the money to get the land back in the McKinney name, because it is a family house. And that's where our family can come home, and because my mom and daddy work hard for that. 50 cents and $1 back in them days wasn't nothing. Now we're talking about 2,000. That's a whole lot of money. And back in them days, my mom and daddy would have been rich. But I'm asking, if you sell the land back to me, taking into consideration of selling the land back to me, Tracy McKinney, and I will let me know what I need to go through and how I go back doing it and how much it takes, and give me time to pay for it. Thank you.
How much time do you need?
I'll be honest with you, this is my husband, and he worked at Hooper Sawmill, and he been there for many years. And it really gonna take me time. It's gonna take me a little bit more than 30 days, at least 4 to 5 days, because I was figuring it out that when the lady had gave me the total of the phone, and when she said 10%, it didn't add up to all that much, but y'all said 10% or something else. But when I added the 10% for both properties, it added up to me like 2,000 and something. Now you're talking about 2,000, almost $2,800. And I do need a little time. So.
Well, I think everybody on this board wants to see the Kenny family, regain that property. And I think the critical thing tonight, we need to, basically, it looks to me like this board needs to agree to sell it to them, and then let her work out the arrangements in the future. It's just something that's good to give you several months or whatever to do it. I have no, it's up to this board to decide that. Nobody wants to take your property. We want you back in it. We want the Kenny family to have it. I don't think anybody, it's not a money-making deal for us.
I move we approve the sale.
Second motion.
Motion to second to approve the sale. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Excuse me. Question.
I believe you roll call.
Questions in there.
Yes.
Do we need to set a time frame? Because I know the mayor said that. Do we need to, with that motion, do we need to set a time frame, or we just voted to set it back, and then we need to make another motion on, I'm just trying to get, do we need to do it both at the same time, or do we need to do it separate?
Well, I would do only one motion. I think.
Okay, all right.
That's why I don't do one motion. But you're free to do it every how you want to. You don't have to set a time limit, but if you want to, you can. That's up to the board.
Okay.
Call the roll, Ms. Clerk.
Ms. Dyer? I'm gonna pass. Mr. Futrell?
Aye.
Mr. Hill?
Aye.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mr. McKenzie?
Aye.
Mr. Willie McKee?
Aye.
Mr. Ray?
Aye.
Mr. Larry McKee?
Motion passed. We'll try to work out some agreement with you. Hopefully we'll put this back in your hands.
Yes, sir.
I think we ought to go ahead and set, the council ought to go ahead and set the time limit. Yes, we need to take that to a vote, so can't nobody be backing up and saying different things. Let's just go and put a time limit on it, and if she says she needs a little bit more time, we can do that. What I mean, if we say 30 days, she said, I think she's already said she can't handle it in 30 days. So we need to say, she said she thinks she can handle it in 45.
Right.
I suggest that we run through a motion and say 60 days.
2 months.
Ms. McKinney, 60 days, would that make you comfortable?
Sir, I will do the best I can.
Well, I'd rather give her
Yeah.
120 days.
Yeah.
And
Again, that's
not
not
showing.
showing.
That's what
I don't
showing.
have a problem.
3,000. 3,000.
That's not showing because it's just a problem.
But I agree with you, Mr. Butrell, we can settle that tonight.
Right, let's just settle it tonight.
Well, 6
And if
months.
she agrees,
Because the mayor said 7, so let's say 6 months.
yeah, 100, what do we say?
Is that right?
Somebody make a motion.
I don't know what
I motion
Six.
that we give her 6 months.
Okay.
Make the payment.
Okay.
Clarify the motion in a second. We'll give the Kenny family 6 months to close this deal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Okay.
motion carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Say, can I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
When property like this come up, I don't know if it's just a suggestion that, you know, we can at least offer it back to the family first. And if it's not, if the family don't want to purchase the property, then we have an auction or something like that, where it could be sold at an auction, whether it's just anybody, you know.
The board's
Because it's
free-
not,
You're free to sell it any way that you want to. If that's what you want to do, you can do it.
So anytime you do property, you have to come before us, is that what you're saying? Okay, all right. There ain't no need doing it, then. We're gonna come before.
Before we go, let me clarify this, Steve. In it, it's taxes in arrears, 3 years, non-payment. If it's, they're 3 years behind, that's when they go to a property sale.
No, it's a year, it's actually a year they become delinquent, it's another year passes before they actually go to court you have the court action there to publish in the paper and all that. But by the time, when you go through the year's redemption period and all that, by the time you get to it, it's about 3 years down the road after it's all said and done. The whole process takes about 3 years.
Of course, you
You
gotta
have
go
the year
time to
to redeem,
redeem.
you have a year to redeem it too.
That's right. So by the time you add that year in there, see, the taxes that this property was sold for were 2010 taxes. So this was done for the 2010 tax sale, which actually did not take place until 2012. And then the year time period, the court clerk waits a year before she issues the deed for the period of redemption. So we got a deed in April of this year, April 22nd of this year. So when we get the deed, it's free and clear, it's our property at that point.
Next item on the new business is discussion of revisions of personnel policy. Ms. Clark, if you would, go through the changes there, please, ma'am.
Okay, the city of Auburn has decided to start doing a yearly evaluation on every employee at their anniversary date. We have never had that in our policy that we were gonna do that, so that has been added to section 2 under personnel policy statements, page 4 in our policy, and it's under E number 3. So everything that you see on page 4 and 5 under number 3 is what we're doing. We're just gonna do a self-evaluation for each employee. They will be evaluating themselves, and then their department head will evaluate them, and then the department head's evaluation will go in their personnel file. And that will determine whether they are up for some kind of merit raise, or if they need to improve on something. We've got records of that now.
Is that the only thing that changed?
And then we moved promotions and demotions. That was in another section of our book, and we just added that into that section. But that's the only thing that we did, is just add this evaluation section.
Mayor, did you have something you can say there? In this section here, I guess the E section, I wanted to know if there's any way we could improve the personnel board. I don't know if the personnel board stays the same every year, or is it just appointed based on the situation? But if we could add the outside of, once you, because, I mean, it's hard sometimes if a supervisor and employee don't get along, then I don't care how good a job that employee does, if the supervisor or that department head don't feel that they don't like them personally, they're never gonna get a chance to be promoted whatsoever. But if there's a personnel board in place that can be included in this process outside of the department head and Ms. Sheila, where they can come, because I know a lot of times employees, I've had employees come to me about situations, they're not gonna come to the department head or their supervisor about it, because, their job could easily be on the line. Whereas, I don't know about the rest of you, but some of the other people outside of the per se work environment could have a better, conversation with them. whatever that situation may be, so. Is there any way that was something on our radar? Everything else was fine, but I mean, just that we can, the personnel board, if there's not one established already.
Don't we have a personnel
Yeah.
board?
And that board
There's
be,
a section in our policy that states that if any employee does not agree with their
If we
supervisor,
get-
the mayor, or whatever, they can go
We go-
ask for a hearing.
That's what we've already done that one.
okay, I don't know if that was still in
But they
place
still
all
have
the
that.
time, okay.
Yeah, that's in the policy.
We got one, and it is in effect, and I will say this, you know, where anytime that any of you council people, if you got a problem, you know, that you have an employee come to you or whatever, and, you know, it needs to be made known to either Doug and myself or whatever, and if the personnel board will, if we need to have an appeal type deal or something, you know, we'll carry it through the numbers, but, I think that we have, I'm not familiar with, I don't have that policy in front of me, but we do have a personnel board, I do know that.
I was on it, I don't know how long I stayed on, but I was on.
Let me applaud, first off, Mr. McTinney, who's initiated the question about the personnel policy stuff, and really what we're doing on this, under employee development, training people. A lot of times work and do the same old thing for years, and they don't really know, they don't have enough communication with their boss, or the next person above them, or whatever level, to know whether they're doing a good job or not. And they don't know what that person expects, and I hope that this thing, it lets, you know, we let the employee evaluate himself. They get a self-evaluation there, and he can, and then the supervisor evaluates, and at least they sit down and talk about it.
The state does that. The
Huh?
state does that. They have a yearly
Yeah.
evaluation. It's
The
done
military,
similar to the
most
state.
every major industry does it. It's something that we've been lacking, and I hope this thing.
And it's just kind of a conversation you have with the employee and go over theirs and yours at the same time.
And you send a copy to.
It's not a punitive thing, it's a thing that's done on their anniversary date, and it lets them know where they stand, and, I hope that, employees and their supervisor can level with each other, and, then, if we got a problem there, our personnel,
Then that employee can address it.
yeah.
I have something that was Mayor. Question. I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Okay. Under section E, the last paragraph, where it says that annual performance evaluations are important in providing dialogue and expectation and accomplishments. When salary increases are considered and funded, the evaluation will be used in merit. If we can take something like that out, because the merit raises, I know the state used to do that many years ago, and I was on that 30-some years, I think under brothers when they stopped it. The merit raise is just not a good system to go by. But the simple fact is that, as a trooper, when I was a trooper, when they had the merit raises, I had fives all the time. But because of my supervisor, I didn't get the merit raise. When I became a supervisor, a lieutenant didn't want to give nobody, done a good job, excellent job. Didn't want to give him a merit raise because of the simple fact, I don't like that person. So the merit raise is not, the way the state do it now, you know, if you do a good job beyond what you do, what you're supposed to do, you know, bring them before the council, recognize them. I can go along with that, because that's what the state does. The state recognizes you for doing a good job. You didn't get no raise for it, because your job is what you're supposed to do. And so the merit raise, I think the merit part need to be, my suggestion, is need to be taken out, because I can see them coming up here, you know, you recognize individuals for a job beyond the call of duty. I can see that.
I think that, basically, I don't know
But
the terminology, And I agree